Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be doing a really quick overview of the best firms currently in the future space and the same firms I used to make 300k in the last 5 months alone. So starting with everything, we're going to jump right into the proof because I need to show you that I'm not a liar and I actually make money from these firms and why I chose them. Starting with Apex, as you can see I have a code for this firm. This is my favorite firm of all time. It allowed me to run up to 100k in a singular month almost. Then moving directly onto Lucid, which is another low leverage account, which we'll get onto later. I took out only around 15k, I think, in the past week, or no, like over the last couple of weeks. I only just started trading Lucid, but as you can see, we're about to take another payout tonight, which is pretty smooth, honestly. And then moving right onto Funded Next, once again, a new firm that I just started. My friends are really trading these firms, so I decided to as well. Straight up 5k made already. Funded Next is an amazing firm, probably one of the best firms I've ever traded, honestly. And I'm also about to have a code of them too, so use code PEW by the time you're watching this video. Secondly, onto Top Step, we have almost around 70,000 paid just from this firm alone, which is awesome. Once again, a great paying firm. I haven't traded it in a good time now. I've been focusing mainly on lower leverage firms. And then moving to my funded futures, we have the infamous 52k payout in a single one, and then we have multiple loads of maybe like 20 to 30k worth of just smaller payouts. And then moving finally to Tradeify, we have 30k paid. That was only in a short amount of time. And then we have 25k paid on their live, averaging to around 50. And then altogether we have those little firms where I have 10 to 12k paid on, like TPT. Now I've showed you that I'm not a liar and I actually make money from these firms. What actually is the difference between high leverage and low leverage, and why should you trade these firms that I've just showed you? Well, there's a reason why I'm getting paid out in these firms and that I trade them as a whole, and I'll get through that right now. So starting with Apex, this firm rewards discipline, psychology and discipline. Now, the actual ROI for this prop firm is brilliant because you're only paying sometimes, well, really cheap, like even $10 to $20 per account with an activation fee, and in return you can get paid out up to 2k. Right now, if you do the ROI on that, you're paying $20 to actually get the account, then you're activating it, and then by the time you're funded, you just have to get that payout, right? So like, just going over low leverage is important, but what actually makes low leverage and high leverage different? On low leverage accounts, you're basically trading a lot more discipline to high leverage accounts. The actual way to master ROI on prop firm is by understanding the rules are different on every single firm you trade. Now, how do we trade low leverage? Well, going through Apex, for example, you like to stack accounts, and you have a really systematic approach compared to high leverage. So what does this even mean? Okay, starting with my model with low leverage accounts. Statistically, 10 A+ setups have never failed in a row. What does this mean? Okay, by never, I mean with calculated strategic statistical evidence in the past 3 years, 10 A+ setups identified by my model have not failed in a row. How can we use this to our advantage on low leverage firms? Well, if we're risking 200 and then our profit is 800 to 1000 per trade, then that's 4 to 5 RRs. You would need to lose 10 trades in a row in order to blow accounts. Just knowing this information alone should give you a huge motivation and discipline boost to understand that now if you just stay disciplined and take A+ only, there is physically no way, unless we have that break of structure in our actual model, if that makes sense to you, that you'll blow those accounts. So now you know, if you actually stick to my model and you actually trade the exact way I did, then there's no way you can blow these accounts. So going to 4, right, we have Apex ROI. This is extremely important for actually scaling, right? 20 accounts is estimated to be around $2,000 once you pass them. Of course, if you pass them. Return 20 to 40,000 per payout cycle. Your first payout cycle is going to be 1,500 times 20. Okay, and then obviously your payouts will go up even more and more and more and more. So it will be 2,000 per trade, per payout cycle and per account. So 2,000 times 20 is 4,000, etc., etc. 40,000, right? So knowing that, you just have to invest 2,000, and if you stick to the model, you can make 40,000. Plus, obviously, you get 4 payout cycles, up to 5, before you get transitioned over to their live accounts, which is estimated to be around $200,000 with just the investment of 2,000. That's why low leverage is extremely important, because it allows you to take advantage of prop firms if you are disciplined. Now, this is why there is a specific risk and profit scenario. We need to stick to this and stick to A+ setups. That's the hardest thing, and it's really easier said than done, because on paper it sounds really easy, right? Like easy, I can just say to you, okay, learn my model, only take A+. But that's why you need guidance, and that's why you need to watch my videos and study me, because it's quite difficult to do that over time and do it consistently. And then going to the Lucid ROI, a little bit more simple. 5 accounts, $500 estimate, okay? Return 10,000 per payout cycle, because the max payout on the Lucid Pros is obviously 2k. Now once again, Lucid's a little bit easier as well. Okay, I prefer Apex's because scaling, and obviously Apex is my favorite firm. I made a lot of money in 1 month. But this is just to go to show low leverage is the best for scaling. Because how are you meant to make consistently 20 to 40,000 per payout cycle on high leverage without over risking? You don't have to over risk when you're on low leverage. You can literally risk 200 per trade and have loads of room on these accounts if you copy trade. Right? Now going over to high leverage, that's where we're going really into the high risky trades, where we're gonna kind of be taking advantage of the evals, losing a lot more and losing a lot more fundeds, but in return, when we get those payouts, it will be a huge investment return. But actually on low leverage, this is where I want people to start. If you actually want to make those 5 to 6 figure months, I really suggest going to low leverage accounts first. Okay, now jumping over to high leverage, this is a whole new game. Okay, this is a whole different way of trading. This is why these firms are highlighted under high leverage, for example, right? So we have Funded Next, Tradeify, My Funded Futures, and TopStep. Now, yes, some of these accounts on these firms do equate over to low leverage, but I'm kind of picking out the most important accounts that I use to trade and make my money from. So let's go through that only, right? Starting with Funded Next, what accounts did I even use to get that first 5k payout a couple weeks ago? Well, starting with pretty much every single person who trades Funded Next, it's daily payouts. Okay, daily payouts. You can do this in two ways. You can trade at low leverage or you can trade at high leverage. These accounts are actually made for you to trade high leverage. If you're taking trades slowly, you may as well be on a low leverage account, right? Funded Next, the way you trade these accounts is you're basically pretty much aggressively trading the evals and then aggressively trading the fundeds. Same with Tradeify, same with My Funded Futures, same with TopStep. Now, picking out My Funded Futures, you guys saw that trade. You guys saw that payout. You guys saw me take 30k in one single trade and then take 60k in one single payout. Now, how the hell did I do that? Well, that's literally high leverage. 100% I blew multiple evals before I even took that payout. So how did I even do that? Well, it's really, really simple, right? These My Funded Futures Pro accounts, which are my favorite to trade, cost around $200. So it's more of a pricey account, doubling the price of a low leverage account. But these payouts are max 100k. So your return on investment, if you actually manage to make it to that payout cap, is insane. It's like 2,000, I don't even know. The percentage is insane, right? So what I did is I basically aggressively scaled so many evals to the point where I had multiple fundeds, and I kept taking A+ setups, risking my whole entire account on these accounts, right? Now that is risky. Entirely different ball game when it comes to low leverage. But that's the only way to really make those 5 to 6 figure months through pro accounts, right? Now that's why I like to, exclude high leverage from beginner traders, because if you don't have the capital to risk on these accounts, it's really not a good idea. But once you do, it's a good way to have that other, version of passive income that seems less stressful but has the same ROI as low leverage. Okay. And this is kind of just finishing up the high leverage. Just let's go over this really, really easily, right? So statistically, like I said before, 10 A+ setups have never failed in a row. We don't want to let go of trading A+. Just because we're now risking more, just because we're now being a little bit more ruthless on the charts, it doesn't mean we have to let go of being disciplined when it comes to our actual model. But when it actually comes to profit from ROI, be prepared to lose more accounts. So for example, if we were like literally here, right? If we're in a My Funded Future Pro, 2,000 risk for 8,000 to 10,000 profit is going to be a lot of money. It's 10k, and you can withdraw 80% of that, right? So let's say you make 30k in one trade, which is going to be like a 15 to 20, 15 RR, right? Which is entirely possible. Okay, if you only target 15 RR, 30k is going to be a huge investment, right? And if you're targeting draws, your RR can even be higher. So just constantly cycling accounts looking for that A+ trade is exactly how you trade high leverage, but that's also the exact same reason why I don't promote it towards new traders, because it's kind of gambling, right? And like I said, it's not gambling when you have a statistical approach, but if you don't have that capital to back trading high leverage accounts, there's not really a point. These guys you see on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, who are taking these insane trades and they make a lot of money from it, they do blow a lot of accounts before that. If you look at their evals, they have a huge eval spend, but a good return on investment. That's why high leverage is more there for suitable and experienced traders, but that's also like a secondary way of scaling. This video was kind of just going over my favorite prop firms and the real reason how to scale them, right? Like low leverage, you can scale to 50 to 100k a month safely. High leverage, it's a little less safe if you don't have the capital, right? Obviously, you can get lucky, buy $200 My Funded Future Pro, pass it, take an A+ and make 20k. But is it realistic? No. And everything in trading has to be realistic, or else you're going to be losing money in the long run. Okay, statistical approaches are the most important thing ever. You have to almost trade like a robot in order to make a good return in trading. That's why low leverage is always going to be my favorite. That's why if I am messing up with high leverage, which by the way will happen so much because you're risking so much, you're pretty much risking the entire account for a good return, you've actually got to be careful. And that's why I like to stick to low leverage. That's why my main firms are low leverage. That's why I like to secure my 10 to 50k a month just through low leverage, and then I decide to maybe go to Top Step or My Friend Future Pros to scale up to those 12k to 100k payouts. Simple.